live together in perfect harmony. Boom, boom. Ebony Ivory. Ebony and Ivory podcast show.
How's it going, everybody? It's the Ebony and Ivory podcast show coming in for our second episode. I want to welcome myself. I am William, a.k.a. Willie Beeman, cold on the football field. And then I have my guy, JR, who's actually a little bit late right now, but he's making his way as we speak. How's it going, man?
Glad you can make it. How you doing?
No.
How we doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. But I think we wanted to start out this episode, obviously, by saying thank you to all the people who viewed our first episode and our second episode.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, you all. I mean, it was beautiful. It was great to get feedback. Yeah, I hope as we continue to release these episodes that you all continue to send us feedback, because you all are going to be the ones that help us get better. Obviously, we don't care too much about all the hate, but if you all care about it and you want to support it, we'll definitely take your feedback, take suggestions, and we'll build this into, something beautiful for everyone.
Yeah, it's going to be a gorgeous process, and we're doing it, man. Like you said, we're glad to hear that feedback, and we're going to try to alter the episodes a little bit and make it more appealing to y'all, the viewers, the number one purpose of this whole thing. And we're doing it. We're doing it for you guys.
Yeah, we're doing it for Lexington, Kentucky. Also, stand up. You know what I'm saying?
KY crew.
KY crew. I can't think of any other popping. I don't know any podcasts in Kentucky.
I don't either. So that was part of the reason why we got to jump on this and give the voice of the average dudes.
Yes, we do.
The average dudes that are interesting in learning about some new topics or stuff you already know, but you're going to hear some takes on it that are kind of funny, kind of interesting, Ebony and Ivory side of it. So
just having an overall, I mean, just knowledge. Like, there's certain topics that we even talk about that we research beforehand, and that gives us a whole new knowledge on it. So
yeah, exactly. We don't know everything, and that's we're trying to express in this podcast is we're just as ignorant as you guys, or just as that's a good thing though. You can't, if you act like you're entitled, act like you're know everything. It's not cool. You gotta want to learn.
Right. Know? You have to have an open mind. You have to be willing to learn. If you're not willing to learn, then it's kind of hard to live, because if you spend your life feeling as if you're right and you know everything about everything, then it's just.
That's what it is these days with picking these sides. Yeah. Everybody left, right, just chill, everybody.
Yeah, kind of like the whole political campaigns and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But we don't try and dive too deep in that type of stuff, but we do want to give you general information on what's going on, and then obviously share our opinions. So
for sure. But it's good to be back. Just been on vacation for a week. Went down to Florida, had a good time. Got a little tan. It's gonna peel off in about 2 days. Gonna be just as pale as I was. But it was fun, good time. I'm glad to be back on the grind. I missed you guys.
He was gone for too long, man. I wanted to get back to work as soon as we started getting feedback and text messages from all you all. Like, I really wanted to get started. My guy was out of town for a week, so we had to wait.
We'll be back this week. By tomorrow on Wednesday. What is the date?
Today's Monday. June 25th.
Yeah, it'll be on here by June 26th, so it'll be current enough. So.
Right. And now I think we're gonna come out with 2 this week. So we're gonna try to give you all.
We
can
make some time for sure. Yeah. We'll do it. What's been new with you though?
I mean,
this past week I've been gone. What have you been up to?
I haven't been up to much, man. I'm just I've been worried about this, keeping up with everybody, keeping up with everyone's feedback, and also rekindling new flames in my life. You know what I'm saying? So.
Respect.
Something
Is
like
it a good flame, or like maybe something you shouldn't be chasing?
To each his own, but I think it's a good flame.
All right, flame emoji.
Yeah, flame.
It's back.
So how you been doing, man? How you were on your trip, but what's been going on new since
Nothing. I mean, it was a trip, of course, a family trip. It was good. I read a book.
What was that
for
book?
The first time in forever. I read this book. It's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a and it was actually a really good message. It's like a self-help type book.
I've heard about that book, actually.
I might lend it to you after this. But it's a good book. It's kind of about embracing your negative aspects of your life. It's counterintuitive. It's kind of about embracing, like, I have anxiety, for example. Like, embrace your anxiety. Say you have anxiety, and that'll kind of give you power almost. It'll give you, instead of, like, trying to strive to be great all the time, like, embrace your negatives first. And then it kind of says that, like, successful people in life don't, this is a kind of a quote from it. I try to remember what it was exactly, but successful people don't become successful because they believe they're the greatest. It's because they believe that they're not the greatest, like not the best. So
they continue to work hard to become
exactly
great.
So that's a good message, I think. So
no, I love that. And I guess we got some pretty, I think we have some topics that kind of fit that as far as greatness, because there's some arguments for people who are great right now for the young generation. So
yeah, it's good timing.
Yeah. But we also wanted to start a segment, and I think John is going to be the originator of this segment that we're going to do.
Yeah. We're going to do some questions. We were trying to think of a segment title, whatever. We'll get it eventually, but like questions of the day, maybe 1 or 2 questions of the day. And we want you guys to maybe submit some. And I think that'd be a cool one, so we can give you guys a shout out. Anybody wants to submit his question to us on Instagram or through the YouTube comments right now. That's all we're on right now. So do that, and we'll shout you out. But right now I have my brother-in-law, Ryan. He shouted us out, wanted to get a little question. Question of the day. His question was, if you could live with one person's voice for the rest of your life, what would you choose?
So me personally, so I think there's two. I think there's 2 voices. It's a toss-up between these 2. I would say Morgan Freeman, because he has that godlike voice. I feel like if I was to talk to a girl and I'd come in with that Morgan Freeman voice, I feel like that's an instant comfort.
Yeah, you'd gain a couple points.
Yeah, I feel like if I come in like, I can't even do the imitation, but like, hello. I don't know how you do.
Hello.
Hello.
I know that's a British accent.
Yeah.
Like, me and my friends, we were chilling.
That sounds pretty close to, but it's something beautiful like that. Like, you'll be like, okay. Like,
you could just be talking about something regular and it'll be beautiful.
Yeah, like, what does he want to know? That's why Morgan Freeman gets all the parts. I did hear he had some Me Too type of cases going on right now.
I heard about that too.
So we don't condone that, but I'm just saying that his voice is pretty beautiful.
I heard with that case that was completely like a stretch.
You think?
Like the girl, it didn't. It showed like a clip of it, which was him saying like a certain quote, and then she kind of stretched it out too far, and she didn't. It was like a 5-second part of the whole 30-minute interview,
right?
And it was not. He was talking about something that wasn't related to it,
right?
So,
turn this phone off. You know what I'm saying?
So Morgan Freeman ain't done nothing wrong. Morgan Freeman is still God to me.
Yeah, I hope he's not going to be the next Bill Cosby. But also my second voice would be Denzel Washington, because I think it hit from Training Day. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to give you the imitation of the voice or my favorite line in that, but watch Training Day.
Okay.
He's like, okay. Mine. Okay.
I can't do it either. I can't do that impression.
But I love it. But, how about you, John? Actually, there was another question that was submitted.
What was the question? I forget.
Oh, you tell me. You have all the question submissions. I never got the question submissions. People didn't think I was cool enough to give me feedback.
Let me check my phone real quick.
But this is my question to you.
Okay. Yeah, make up a unique question.
You know what I'm saying?
Doesn't have to be submitted.
All right,
but we want it to.
All right, my unique question. All right. Let's see. But can it be a deep question, or does it have to be funny?
It could be anything you wonder, man. Anything you're pondering.
Man, if you could do something for the rest of your life, just so people can get an idea of what John truly is happy doing.
Jeez, man. I had you with the voice question, and you're like,
yeah, no.
What are your true happiness?
All my stuff is deep, man. I have no joking stuff. All right, if you had a specific hobby that would make you happy doing for the rest of your life, what would that hobby be?
Hobby or like a job?
No, I mean just like something you do for leisure, for fun.
Okay.
But if you were retired and you saw yourself doing that every day.
Okay. A mixture of 2 things. Oh, Kid Cudi. He flew off.
He's talking to us.
Dear
Kid
God.
Cudi knows we're recording right now.
He flew off the hinges. mixture of two things. Like retired, I would do two things maybe. Radio DJ, like I'd be like a radio host. I love talking. I love doing these podcasts. it's popping off again.
Cuddy.
We need to get that frill down.
Like stapled down.
Do something with it. I'm surprised that they hadn't fallen off before this. They've been on there. There's a ghetto rig.
But it lasted all week though. While we weren't here.
Yeah. What did I say? Radio, like
radio
talk on the
DJ.
radio, maybe with you, whoever.
Dude, so if it was back in the 70s and they were doing like this old classic music, I feel like John would be the white guy with the afro and the DJ booth doing all the black like hip music. Like that's how I imagine you with the smooth criminal voice, you know. Hey, you know, this is Johnny Rose coming in tonight.
This is DJ JR in the morning. We got that Earth, Wind, and Fire coming for you guys. Yeah, I think I'd respect for all music. I love the old school funk. I love the classic rock. I would just have a mixture of everything.
Yeah, you're pretty.
Back in time.
I think that what a lot of people do wrong, and I even blame myself, is you don't take the time to appreciate the music that came before the music that you listen to regularly today. So it's kind of hard to appreciate how far music has come if you don't listen to the music that came before. And I think that you know the music that came before in many categories that helped molded certain categories that came out today. So that's pretty cool for you.
Yeah, for sure. I have a respect for all types of music, all genres, all eras. So it definitely inspires the music today. And music today is so weird. It's just there's like a missing band out there that could be like a classic.
Right.
But it's just like the DJs and the EDMs, and nothing wrong with that. It's cool, but
I mean, yeah, it's interesting. But I mean, another segue that kind of takes us into our next category, but I think that someone that was very revolutionary, kind of like a Kid Cudi was to us as far as music, was XXXTentacion. And the only reason why I say that, and, you know, beforehand, I didn't appreciate him until the current events that took place, you know, that kind of put him, you know, I just saw today that his CD Sad is #1 on Billboards. But you kind of don't appreciate something until it's gone. And I started listening to his music, listening to his last Sad CD, and even listening to interviews that he had on, you know, No Jumper with Adam 22 and things like that. But he basically was stating that he doesn't belong to a specific category. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what makes him cool. That's why Kid Cudi is kind of cool to us. So in a way, I feel like he might have been revolutionary to a generation that came after us.
Yeah, I agree completely. And the other aspect of that is like he made that I wouldn't call it emo music,
right? But
he talked about his feelings. He talked about his depressive thoughts and even suicide thoughts, which is weird to say now, but just like Kid Cudi did, or anybody before, and maybe some of those kids that were listening got inspired and like didn't actually wanted to live, or they like that's why I liked his music, because he was talking about his thoughts and not just turning up and.
Right.
So it's cool to me. Just think about the kids he inspired. Like he might have not been the best guy, ever, and obviously from the stories that came out. But it is still sad that he died.
I mean it's definitely sad. But for the people who don't know much about XXXTentacion, he was a rapper. I believe he was 20 years old, and I believe last week he went motorcycle shopping, and he left the motorcycle shop, and as soon as he got to the exit of the motorcycle shop, you know, entryway, he stopped at a stop sign or whatever, stopped at the end of the street to, you know, turn or whatever. But a vehicle pulled up in front of him. 2 gunmen came out masked, and they attempted to rob him, as they say right now. But he struggled, you know, with it. Obviously, he wasn't just willing to give away, you know, what he had, and he was shot there on the scene. So.
Yeah, it's weird because it's one of the first like rappers in a while that was popular that died. It kind of reminds you of like a Tupac Biggie situation, and I'm not saying he's as good as them, or that's not what we're debating here. But
they said that it was kind of premeditated. So basically, he went to the bank, and he had deposited a decent amount of money. He was saw at the bank.
Yeah, someone spotted him like with all the money.
Yeah, spotted him get the deposit from the bank. He went to the motorcycle shop. The guy who was arrested for this actual case, he wasn't actually one of the gunmen, but he was one of the drivers. But immediately after they noticed him doing this, they went to the store, bought mask, and then pulled up on him. So they watched him as he left the motorcycle shop, and then attempted to rob him, and then shot him right there. So they got a Louis Vuitton bag and a bag full of money. So you basically wanted to spend the next 10, 15 years of your life, 20 years of your life in jail over.
Yeah, shout out to them. They freaking killed somebody over however much money. It's not.
And there's
ridiculous.
I
saw that somebody tweeted out that the video of him actually like laying in his car like after he got shot. And I remember it broke like on Twitter. I was on it as soon as the story popped up, and somebody tweeted it out, the video, and like I did not want to see that at all.
Yeah, and then one of our
in the car, and
was it you who texted R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. Because someone said R.I.P. like he didn't have a pulse, and I was like R.I.P. like no matter what he did, it's somebody tweeted out too like compared him to Hitler like
no.
Geesh.
So no, as far as what I've learned about Tekashi,
and that's
not Tekashi.
Sorry for interrupting again, but like, that's not comparable because I mean I'm shouting out to anybody that's had domestic abuse. Like that's not cool at all. But from what reports I've seen, he was trying to change. He was making some charities, and Hitler murdered 6 million people. So that's not comparison.
Made that comparison,
but I don't know why did the person in that situation just video that though. And
I mean they could have taken the time to I don't know, I feel like it's just our generation and where we're at right now, but I guess there was something that I wanted to hit. No, when you were talking about the perception of X and his legacy that he had before not legacy but pretty much his reputation before he died. So and they talked about, I mean, obviously, if you don't have a background of him, XXXTentacion, he grew up with a single mother. His dad was incarcerated from a very young age. He grew up with his mom, who wasn't financially able to support him at a very young age. So he hopped around from family to family, different foster cares. He was in and out of, different, I guess, juvie and things like that because he was breaking into homes, doing things for attention that a lot of people who, are in this generation today do. You see all these people online like Boot Gang and what's the kid's name? Supreme Patty, that go on and just do the dumbest stuff. And you all, and not you all, but just generations like support that. Kind of like
even like Woe Vicky and
Lil Tay,
all that stuff.
And then like the killer of XXX, the accused killer, that rapper, I can't remember his name, and I'm not gonna give him clout, but not that we could give him clout, but like this rapper came out and he was tweeting that I just killed XXX, I'm gonna go viral. And then deleted the stuff off. This guy gained over 300,000 followers on Instagram overnight for claiming to kill someone, which sets an example for our generation. Kind of feels as if
that's messed up.
I mean, it's like over we live in Lexington, Kentucky, and Lexington, Kentucky is, I believe, just as far as like the city area, 600,000 people. Half of that population followed an individual solely because he murdered someone. Or claim to have murdered someone.
Yeah, claim to, and that's our society. Like you get clicks off of like just very controversial stuff, and people are just addicted to that. Like, what's going on? What's new? What can I freak out about?
Yeah, let's see these updates on how he killed him, or it's
just let the man rest in peace. Like I don't know. I actually liked his music a lot, and I'm not like depressed over it. Like I'm just it sucks. Like
I mean, I'm definitely
one
of
the to see somebody it sucks anybody to
lose his life, and it sucks that we see it on the internet. Like you see the guy who people glorified, kind of like could you imagine if we got a video of like Kid Cudi or like Drake shot dead in their car? Yeah,
that's true. Like we might not be attached to him as some of this younger generation was, so it is weird to think like they might be feeling that same way. So
if I ever got a video of Kid Cudi slumped in a car from a gunshot wound, I would cry.
Yeah. And did you see that video he made about like 6 months ago about he was in a car and he's like, if I die, if I do anything, like I just hope I inspire you guys. I I inspire someone that's feeling like crap or that to not feel like crap, to not end their lives or something like that. And that was cool to me to see that. And hopefully his death like inspires people to live. That's all I think about that.
And it sucks because there's people coming out with their different arguments, like, you know, he was a troll, basically. You know, he had all these different beefs, and, you know, there's multiple videos that circulated online when he's like, you know, oh, you know, you all jumped me. Kind of, that was, if you all are familiar with the Migos rap group, he was supposedly jumped by members of the Migos entourage before a music festival or concert or something like that. And he kind of went on video and was like, if you're gonna jump me, next time make sure I'm dead so I won't talk, So I kind of listen to other people talk about it, and it's basically just speak life. Like, a lot of these artists kind of like, basically what I was listening to and from what I've learned about hip-hop is kind of like, you have Biggie and Tupac who come out with songs about death. And Tupac, if you ever listen to Tupac, he had many songs, where he was speaking about, I feel like, death is coming. Like, I feel like I'm going to die, or, very at a young age or something like that. And it happens. And, like, there was a case when Snoop Dogg caught his murder case. He had a CD or a song that came out like Murder is the Case. I can't remember the exact title of the song. I think that's what it is. But he rapped about, catching the murder case or whatever. And then like months or a time later, he actually caught that murder case that he was that is, famously talked about. So it's kind of just being positive, speaking life. Don't talk about death. If you're depressed, just I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell a depressed person.
A lot of people would say there's some conspiracy theories mixed in with those like songs too. Like they knew something was coming. So like the Drake conspiracy theory that XXXTentacion like got killed by him because Drake's lyrics are kind of suggestive. But I think that might be a coincidence.
Yeah, I mean, if you speak things into this universe, I feel like it can happen. That's why I always believe in positivity. Like,
we spoke doing
this podcast
in existence, and people are listening to it now.
Yeah, and we have supporters, people that text us. If we didn't speak this into happening, like, it wouldn't be happening. So if you speak negative things may happen. If you speak positivity and work towards it, then that positivity can happen. So
inspire somebody to stay creative and like follow their dreams and not just like just give it up for no reason. Like give it up because they're scared of someone would think. Like, I've thought that because of this too. Like, I'm getting myself out there. I'm kind of a reserved person, so I'm glad I did this though. So
I'm glad we're doing it. I'm glad you wanted to do this. Cool. Because I mean, I feel like I wasn't even motivated to do this. I believe you came to me about the idea after us just like going to the gym and just talking about stuff.
I was tired of waiting on doing something. Like, we always, when we're hanging out, the whole group of our friends were like always just talking about doing something. So
and just thinking.
And I think that's most groups. Like, you always talk about doing something, but you never actually take the risk of doing it. So why not?
Right.
Do it.
Why not? And that's why we always say we're here.
We did it.
We made it.
We made it.
We ain't made it yet, but the fact that we've had you all.
No, it feels like we have. Like, from people that have shown the love, and not to get sentimental, like, it just feels like rejuvenating just to do it and put it out there. Like, we got over the hump of, we recorded the first episodes like a few weeks ago, and we were editing them and like worrying about what people thought.
Just freaking out.
And it's just
me freaking out. I'm like, oh, dude,
no, I did too. Like, I was like, is this good enough? Like, but it doesn't matter if it's good enough. Like, if we think it's good enough and if we put it out there, we can still learn to grow, and it shows people that we did it.
Yeah. And this is why we want you all to watch. We want you guys to tell us what you think about it. And we also want to be really interactive. Like, I don't think of this as something that's just for me and John. We think of this as a community type thing,
Yeah.
And mainly because we're from Lexington, Kentucky, a town that's looked down upon, as a
town that's not known, whatever.
Yeah.
Through media or like entertainment wise.
Exactly. The only person that really reps Kentucky in any way is like Drake, who comes here.
Or like, of course, the Kentucky Sports Radio, like Matt Jones.
Yeah, but
all them. Shout out to them. Like, they handle the sports, but there's no one from this even region, like states surrounding us, like describing how these people feel.
Yeah, and just being a local influence. So, I mean, regardless if we touch people in other states or whatever, we do want to reach out to our main community, but we want to be everywhere. Like, I want to be able to talk to people everywhere and everyone be interactive in what we do,
Hells yeah.
Hells yeah. That's what we want to do.
We got a little deep, but
yeah, that was a deep moment for you all. But the XXX stuff was huge.
I don't mean to focus on the negative, but today it just came out. Another RIP. Shout out to the Pawn Star. Old Man was his name. What's all the people called him? Old Man. Did you ever watch Pawn Stars?
No, I never really. No, I watched it a couple times. I did love how aggressive he was with negotiations on items. But I did visit the place when I was in Vegas, I believe last January.
Cool.
We drove past it. I didn't go in, but we drove past it.
That's cool.
A random taxi driver was like, hey, you guys want to know where the Pawn Star people are?
Yeah.
And we paid for a specific fare to get somewhere. And he was like, I'll take you here for free.
That's cool. No, I watch that show. I don't watch it anymore, really, but I was into it in high school or whenever.
How old was he? Like,
he was in his 70s. He was an old guy. Like,
I mean, he looked like he had alcohol. No, I'm just playing.
He was a cool. Every time on the show, he kind of like came in with the old school attitude and was like, "What are you kids doing? Like, why would you pay $1,000 for some Pokemon cards?"
Yeah, his kids would make the craziest offers, and he would have to come in there and be like, "Seriously?"
Pawn Stars is funny because no matter what comes in, it we got what's an example? Somebody's bringing in a football. Like, I gotta call my guy. See how much this thing is. My
football guy. See how much this is worth.
I'm like, just make an offer. Like, it's whatever it is. But they do that for the TV. I get it, but it's kind of funny what I've noticed about it. But
so Richard Harrison, he was born in 1941. So I mean, that guy's lived a great life.
Lived a great life.
Yeah.
We just wanted to say R.I.P. real quick to the man. I know a lot of people like that show, and I did too. So
yeah, I did. Respect to the man. So what was our next category? I guess there's so much going on in the world today. So we try and be entertaining with stuff, but I feel like there's so much deep stuff that's like really out here happening for us to sit here and talk about just the craziest stuff and ignore the important stuff that's going on. And I guess one of the hottest topics going on right now is immigration.
Yeah. That is a very hot topic.
Very, very hot topic.
It's on every news outlet, social
everywhere.
media outlet.
Everywhere I see.
It's a complex issue. What do you think about it?
I mean, I guess my opinion on it is, like, I understand the law of being, I guess, just coming into America illegally and the laws that we have in place, stating that you have to come here and do a certain checklist before you can become a citizen. Yeah. So before you can reap the fruits of being an American citizen, you have to do things that are required for you to become a citizen. So I do believe in that. And I feel like as an American, I guess, or just, American citizen, you should believe in things like that, because I guess there are negative things that come, like I guess there's cartel influences that come, or just crime and stuff like that. But I'm going to be honest, like, I'm not one of the people that believes in the splitting of the families. But after doing my research, I do see that they, I guess the purpose of taking the parents from the kids is to put them in, federal custody, so that they can go through, I guess, trial or whatever, not trial necessarily, but go to court, for these situations and have the outcome determined in court. So these kids are actually having to be without their parents, circumstantially because of that situation. Obviously I wish it was done in a better way. I don't want kids getting separated from their families.
Yeah, when it's a crappy situation.
Yeah. And after reading online, I'm seeing that there's, I think currently right now, over 11,000. What was it that I quoted? It was something crazy. I mean, there's over.
Yeah. And they're continually making new places to put them to.
Yes. And these look like someone had a comparison of when Germany was capturing all the Jewish people and put them in those camps. But they had a picture.
Yeah, that's a stretch.
Yeah, very.
But
we don't know what it's like to be in Mexico and have, a certain crisis going on that's making these people feel as if they're running for their lives, And
the almost depressing part of all this is, there's no clear solution to much of these problems that go on today. We can argue all we want, but until we see some results, that's why I'm just anti joining teams of right or left. Have your own opinion.
I mean, that's kind of what I am now. Like even when I went to vote for, I guess, just the, here in Kentucky, when you walk in, if you've ever voted in Kentucky, they ask you before they're like, are you? When I was trying to figure out what list my name was on, they were like, so what party are you with? And I was like, other. And then immediately they were like, your name's not in here. And then I realized that I registered with Democrat, and I was like, oh, dude, I wish I registered with other. But I guess just why I say that is because, like, I hear the different opinions of both sides, but I feel like there's negatives with both sides as well.
Exactly. I think I'm more of a lean towards Republican, but barely. I'm more of a libertarian in the middle, Republican. And maybe you're a libertarian, like Democrat. Like we're very in the middle.
Kind of just like easing into that. Like, I want to have a middle ground. Like, I want to understand where Republicans are coming from before I just make a decision and be like, oh, I'm just going to stick with the Democratic side, because the Democratic side's not always the best decision. So,
yeah, just like the Republican views on, like, I just have a mixture of views, and develop your own ideals on things. Don't join these Twitter, like, teams, like, that you're just going along with anything. Like, maybe you should reevaluate what you're actually thinking about.
Yeah, I mean, because I feel like to be honest, I feel like a lot of minorities lean towards Democrat without even really investigating or doing research in what Democrats are fighting for, if that makes sense. I feel like the go-to political party that, minorities typically lean to is Democratic, because it's supposedly for the people.
Yeah, the Democrat Party, like, says they're for minorities, but
they do what's... I'm not.
Every political party is crooked.
Yeah, and they do what they need to do to get votes. So,
yeah.
So
that's what they took on, is like, get our votes because we got your back. But in reality, neither side got your back. You gotta pick yourself up off the ground. Yeah.
I think eventually, as time goes on with these newer generations that are coming in, it's not going to be a whole Democratic Republican. It's going to be like a...
I hope so.
There's going to be a middle ground that's going to come in, because you have to understand. You have to take him out.
All hell's about to break loose in today's world.
So speaking of that, Donald Trump is actually introducing a space force for the U.S.
Damn. Where do I sign up for that?
I mean, I want to sign up. He's wanting to be the main presence in space.
I feel like this sounds crazy, and it does sound like a futuristic, like pew pew, like laser beams, Star Wars type stuff, but I feel like in the future, like 100, 200 years down the line, like, we're going to be living in space almost. Like, we're going to have another... It's not going to sound as crazy.
Who's the owner of Tesla?
Elon Musk.
Yeah, a lot of the billionaires are investing in space.
Yeah, living on Mars, which sounds boring as shit to me. But
until we build the stuff that we have here there.
But my opinion on that is, like, maybe we should make Earth a little better first. we don't have to just jet out of here onto Mars. That sounds...
Everyone's like, dude, this is crap here. Let's get out of here.
This atmosphere is uninhabitable.
And then our new generations are going to be populated by billionaires. Like,
I don't know. Shout out to Elon Musk, though. Come on the podcast.
Yeah, come here. Come talk to us. I want a Tesla, but the cheaper version that's coming out for $32,000 that you can reserve.
Teslas. I'm anti. Not Teslas. Like, they're cool. Like, energy saving. I don't know about. I want to control my vehicle. I don't want to fall asleep.
And then it's like, of course, I think John shouldn't live today.
Of course, it's statistically better, like, driving with a Tesla than the human. The human reaction, but I trust myself.
I trust myself too. But back to John, do you believe in aliens?
Aliens? This is some high talk.
No, but not even. But just, I feel like coming with the Space Force, you're not just fighting what threats can happen to Earth, but the threats that come outside of Earth. That's the only way you would invest billions of dollars into that. You think that out of all the universes and all the planets, that Earth is the only place that has living life forms?
No, not at all. I actually think that there's no way that we're alone. But I also think that it's so spread out that we have a good chance of never, like, encountering anybody else, which just kind of sucks. But that'd be cool. It would be a very dramatic, very controversial for religious views if we found an alien or something.
Yo, if an alien just popped up on Earth today... Could you imagine the outpour? But I feel like today...
Imagine the social media
He would be cool. Like, he would be Instagram famous. If an alien popped up today and
Depends on if
learned
he's
American
hostile or
customs.
not. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but if he was like,
He
what's
just
up?
wanted to like kill all of us.
Yeah, what's up? Phone home.
Phone home,
Be
homie.
coming,
Phone.
please. Turn up.
Hey, man, that would be dope. That would,
No, but I'm quoting. If it's a religious view, like I'm quoting Little Dicky here. There's a song. He's like, why couldn't a god just made some other planets too? Like, is that so weird to think? Like, God could have made any amount of planets.
What if it's not just here on Earth? Like, if there's other planets too that are
Sorry,
struggling
this
with
is
the same
getting
stuff.
like.
No, that got real deep.
No, getting like high talk. Like we're not smoking here. We're like we just ponder these things.
Yeah, I mean,
Anyway.
I feel like these are thoughts that everybody goes through on a daily basis. There's no way that you don't wonder what's out there. I'm one of the people, just by knowing the stat that like over 90% of the water in are like 90% of the water on Earth is undiscovered.
Undiscovered. I thought you were about to say that all the molecules came from like asteroids. All of our atoms and stuff. Like so basically we're made out of atoms that have existed trillions and trillions of years.
I mean, that's some real. But I mean, we've evolved. I mean, we've all evolved. I mean, we've evolved from what the original man was. So,
yeah, and I do think that's what unique about Earth is how fast we've evolved, and because it's only been, I'm saying only, but it's been billions of years, millions of years since man has developed like into consciousness, and you can like talk about like ancient Egypt and all that.
Right.
That's a topic for another day. Ancient Egypt, how they
but
built
like
the
the
pyramids.
pyramids and stuff like that. Like, yo,
You ever watch some Ancient Aliens?
how
though?
precise that stuff is. Like, or the
They
just
had
all
some-
the eighth wonders of the world.
Yeah, they had some
It's part of-
technology back then, and it's crazy because
They said they were pulling up rocks with elephants up slopes to pull.
yeah, no, it's crazy because there's lost technologies. Like there was ways that they did it, but because there's no ways of documenting back then. Somebody died, and like they lost the way to do that certain thing.
So that just shows how amazing technology could be if we had access to all the previous history that came before us.
Ancient civilizations could have had more technological advanced things than us, but they lost it through time.
I mean, yeah, or aliens did. No, I'm just playing. But
dude.
but,
No,
but
dude,
the-
ancient aliens,
but
bro.
pyramids are like this, like perfectly sloped.
No, they're
all the way
perfectly
to the top.
geographically aligned with the stars too, which I was about to bring up. The stars. I saw this on like the Joe Rogan podcast or something. He was talking about how like we take it for granted, like the stars, that because everything is so light polluted,
Right,
and it's like we don't even realize we're on a planet because we step outside, we can't see that many stars.
right.
And if you step outside in like a very out there state, like out there in the country,
Like Nevada or Arizona or
anywhere
something
like that, you see like literally the Milky Way, and it's a very humbling experience.
Right.
So I think that's what people get caught up on big cities is like they think it's just like their own bubble. But if you
Yeah, but that's not the case.
if you think of it as we're so small compared to everything else, so.
I mean, but I honestly just feel like it's a small world. I've been to many different places. Not many, but we've traveled many places, and you kind of go to different beaches and things like that, and you meet people who might even know people here. John, who you texting over here, John?
You noticed me checking my phone?
I did notice you checking your
subtly.
Who you checking for?
Nothing. It was
Let's
just like
put-
vibrating.
Let's put the person on blast.
No, it was just vibrating because my notification like kept vibrating. Let's bring up some. I know we kind of touched on some sports topics last time. I think that might be a part of our show.
I mean, sports is our life. Like,
We love sports. We're
life
guys.
is not good unless there's good sports.
We're guys. We like sports.
Yeah.
We're dudes.
So, man, tell me about these sports topics that you told me about earlier. Let's talk about it.
Oh yeah, the Terrell Owens. Of course, like a few weeks ago, he like denied to go to the Hall of Fame speech. Did you see that?
Yeah, no, I saw that he was like not trying to do that.
But then last week he put out a video of him doing the 40-yard dash, and which is like the general football.
It's just like the
workout.
rule of thumb to see how fast you
Yeah,
are.
it's a general like how fast can you spring off the block, spring off the yard line? How fast can you get there? But he ran a 4.4, which is pretty ridiculous. It's faster than most in the NFL today. And he's how old?
Terrell Owens is currently 44 years old, running a 4.4. Those guys, I'm in shock.
No, the world record is 4.2.
No, that new guy who came out, the linebacker. No, that linebacker was just famous.
No, it was the actually John Ross ran so close to my name, John Ross. But he's on the Bengals. He had the record for it. It's like 4.2.
It wasn't Hill.
Who?
The Kansas City players.
No, it was John Ross, I believe, and he had a 4.2.
Dry Archer from Kent State, running back, ran a 4.26. Chris Johnson, running back, ran a 4.24. Johnny Rose, a.k.a. Johnny Ross.
John Ross.
Wide
People call
receiver
me
from
John Ross. They
Washington.
got my name wrong.
Ran a 4.22.
Yes, I told you.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
And the funny thing is, he had a horrible rookie season.
He sucked. Is he any good? I've never heard of John Ross.
No, he's they're saying he's coming on, but I don't know.
When was his rookie season?
He just didn't play much. Like, they just had more receivers. I'm a big Bengals fan, by the way. Cincinnati Bengals. I was hyped when we got him, but
Were you really? So you knew of this person before?
yeah, that's how I knew about this, because he played for the Bengals, or I would not have known. But
Yo, all the people on this top list aren't stars in the NFL.
yeah, they're not stars, because maybe they should reevaluate this.
Maybe they should run track.
No,
Maybe.
it's just how fast you are without pads. It's not like
With the pads on.
I don't remember. Like, we were talking about maybe adding seeing what we can do and like all the NFL combine stuff. Because how fast do you think you could run
like a 4.8
40 right now?
A 4.8, 4.9.
Dude, I would bet the up on that. Bet the
Yo,
over.
in high school, I was running less than a 4.7. That sounds really crappy, but I was matching.
No, 4.7's not bad, but I would think that
Now
me and you
I'm
both
trash.
would run above a 5.
You think so?
Nah, I'd run a 4.5.
Let's record this. What were you running in high school?
I had like a 4.55, something like that.
Let's redo these.
All right.
We're gonna
see
get
it
the
soon.
boys.
We're going to get a group of guys, do the NFL Combine workouts, and see how we stack
Let's
up.
do it on Dunbar's football field.
We can.
Let's do it.
In the summer while it's hot. But we're going to record it, and we're going to embarrass ourselves. I'm sure.
No, dude. I'm putting out now, not to be hype, at least a 4.6.
I'm taking bets. I'm taking bets on the over right now.
If you want to send bets, please comment bets. I'm running a 4.6, all right? And I'm willing to bet whatever the heck. Nah, I'm not that confident.
There
A
ain't
4
no way.
a 4.75 is what I'm going for.
There ain't
I'm
no
running.
way. William Charles Anderson running
Quote
a
me right now.
5.5.
No, quote me right now. I'm running a 4.75 $20 bets. Message us if you want them. I'll know you didn't really
Bold
watch the
move.
full
That's a bold
episode.
bet,
That's a
Cotton.
bold. What do you want
See
to
how
bet?
it works out for him.
What do you want to bet?
Man, I would bet. I don't know. I'll bet $20 you don't run below a 4.8.
That hurts.
I'm not like we just haven't ran. You think we?
I haven't read.
We have not ran like a sprint. I haven't run a sprint in years. Have you? I've ran on the treadmill, but I haven't run a sprint.
we jogged on the treadmill. It took us away.
I've had foot surgery too.
Yeah.
I'm blacking.
Yeah, nah. Maybe forget those bets. Actually, let's just see what we do.
Nope.
I called it 2 bets.
No, we really will. We'll do a little video. I think we're gonna add some. Maybe make some just like comedy videos to put on this channel too.
Yeah,
Be pretty fun.
that's the plan.
I got some ideas. We'll see.
Hey, and before we get off, can you please tell us about Kevin McHale?
Oh yeah, Kevin McHale. You didn't see this?
No, not at all. Will we be able to play the video for the guests?
No, we can show a picture of it though. He was like hiding behind some people. But Kevin McHale, coach of the Rockets, former NBA great for the Celtics with Bird, Larry Bird, one of my favorite players. Not just because I'm white,
But because he's white.
but because he had the sweetest jumper of all time. No, he was spotted at a Trump rally or something like that, and not something like that. I need to stop doing that.
No, he was legit.
He was spotted at a Trump rally.
Trump rally.
Into sentence. And I don't know. What do you think about that? Does that change your views? I know a lot of people on
I
Twitter
mean,
are freaking out about that, but
I
chill.
guess it depends. Was it a white supremacist Trump rally or just a normal?
No, some people
Trump
think
rally?
Some people think every Trump rally is a white supremacist.
Yeah, I'm one of those people too sometimes. But
So yeah, let's have a little argument here. Like I think that you shouldn't be like if you're supporting the
So is
president
it-
of the
is
United
it-
States,
so-
if you're supporting our leader, should you get talk trash about
No,
if you're
alright.
supporting our leader?
No, but I do think that there were certain actions that took place during the presidential campaign where Trump condoned certain actions that were not necessarily patriotic within American citizens by white supremacists who cheered for him, and
Yeah.
the whole beatings of people, or when you watch the Trump rallies and them like attacking people who simply disagreed, or you watch the alt-right supremacists that come out mainly supporting him. I guess you can't really correlate the whole support system.
And I understand that. I understand that side of it, but I hope that he doesn't get flack for this. I hope he doesn't like lose his respect from NBA players.
No, because it may just be. Here's the thing. There's probably
Could he be a Republican? Could he just be
I mean,
at
yeah.
a rally? I mean, I don't know why you like.
or there could be a certain view that he like I personally can't think of any. No, actually, recently, Donald Trump helped free a lady who was in jail thanks to Kim Kardashian's help. That was in jail for a nonviolent drug offense,
like weed
and
or something.
and he helped freed her from jail, and now she's able to live a normal life and be with her family. That's something that I agree on. If I went to a Trump rally to support that and say like, oh my God, I support Trump because he freed her, there would be people that would look at me as if I was some Uncle Tom, some guy who was just going against minorities and supporting Trump, even if I was just supporting the fact that, you know, he helped free a minority who was in jail for something that was so petty.
I think that's a big like talking point of why like Trump supporters like talk out about how they're treated sometimes, because they automatically group them in with people that hate.
But there's certain things that you can't support. Like I mean, not to get specific, but there's certain.
Some people just support the president and they'll go because of that. Like if I like the president, if I love the president, I would go to a rally. Like some people love Trump that much.
But they didn't have that same energy a president ago. That's the thing. There's a lot of people who didn't have that same energy a president ago.
But I'm sure a lot of it is like racist tendencies. But
yeah,
I'm sure a lot of it though is too just people that are hyped there's a Republican in office.
Yeah.
So it could be that too, and that's what people they get grouped into that whole hate group, and then like it kind of even forces them more onto the right side,
right?
Because
you're like, oh, you think I'm with this, and you want to attack me?
Like
for
you're
this?
just attacking me for just liking the president of the United States. Like, excuse me for wanting our nation to succeed. Like,
if I'm being honest, though, I hate Trump's Twitter tactics. It's one of my biggest hates of that guy.
I saw him. He came out against Jimmy Fallon today because Jimmy Fallon spoke out. You know. Am I not on there?
Nah, you're on there.
But Jimmy Fallon had him on a few years ago, and like during his campaign, and like, remember he like playing with his hair? Did you ever see that interview where he was like, he did his
Jimmy
hair?
Fallon messed with his hair?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then Jimmy Fallon apologized to the fans because he said he normalized Trump, like made him more relatable or something.
Because he played with his hair.
And he came out, and Jimmy Fallon apologized like today or yesterday, and Trump tweeted today, of course, because he'll tweet out if someone just criticizes him whatsoever.
The thing, when you're on the level of being a president, citizen tweets should not affect you.
Yeah.
Like when
No, but you can tell he just gets
butt hurt.
he gets butthurt, or he has an ego
You're
problem.
in a position to take criticism. You can't tweet at everything that.
Yeah, but people, I don't know. But he tweeted out today, said about Jimmy Fallon. He's like, I let you mess up with my hair. He's like, Jimmy Fallon, your ratings are low.
I love that your voice imitates his tweets.
Jimmy, of course. But it's hard not to read him in his voice. I don't know. It's ridiculous.
But you want to know something crazy? If Trump came out with another apprentice, it would have, after he left office, it would have some of the highest views in television.
I know. I was watching Family Feud the other day, and Trump was one of the most envied man still. There was a question like most envied man, and Trump was like number 4 or something like that.
I mean, I believe it. Because, I mean, everybody beforehand was just like, Trump's not going to be president. Like, we were at the stage of like, this guy's on TV. We know Trump. Trump's not going to become president. And then bada bing, bada boom. He races against a woman, and I'm being that way. He raced against a woman, and he won that top spot. Nah.
Well, it
Trump-
was because Hillary Clinton was just awful candidate.
She was supposedly a crooked Democrat.
She just was not likable.
She was a liar.
She wasn't likable. Was she?
But
likable
now
to
coming
you?
out now, no, because she's the one who put the term super predator on African Americans.
Exactly. Put any likable Democrat into that position. Like the Democratic National Convention forced her.
Yeah, forced her to that
Bernie
top spot.
Bernie probably would have beat Trump.
Nah,
he would have had a better chance.
Yeah, I mean he would have had. No, because didn't Hillary Clinton win the popular vote?
She won the popular vote, yeah, but I'm saying the National Convention forced her through.
Right.
Like they did. Bernie Sanders actually was more popular, but they forced her through because they thought that she would have a better chance of winning or whatever. So it wasn't the people's vote in the Democratic convention at all. So
yeah. I guess what's crazy about that is that a lot of our generation and what's coming after us is very liberal-minded individuals. So, I mean, stay tuned for kind of how the political stuff is going to go.
Yeah.
After 2020.
We'll see. Kanye West 2020.
Kanye West 2020. Yeah.
Kim Kardashian. It's going to be a weird.
Kim Kardashian, first lady, who eventually.
Yeah. Hopefully, we're on until 2020, so we can talk about that later. But
no, we do. But I mean, I guess it's time for us to.
We'll wrap it up.
Call it a sode. I mean, I think we're doing another one this week for the viewers. Is that right?
Yeah. If we can.
We're doing it.
We'll make it in time.
We're doing it.
We're kind of. It's hard for us to make time to do these sometimes, but we'll do it. We're doing it.
We're adults, young adults. I mean, we're busy trying to, adapt into our real life. But obviously, we want to keep giving material out to the people who support us.
Yeah.
You know,
always got to make time for that. So it's been fun.
This was actually a completely different episode from number one.
It's different than I thought it would go too.
Yeah.
It's
more informative than we've.
It's more informative. You gotta. We never know where these are gonna go.
Right.
We have a plan, but we don't
this
know.
one wasn't on plan.
Kind of.
Yeah, I mean, we hit the topics that we want to talk about.
We got the topics. We got topics preset or something we want to hit for sure. But we think that's what's good about the podcast. Also, is how we can talk about whatever's branching out from those ideas we're saying or something like that. So.
But like we said, if you all watch this all the way through, we do want you all to like the videos. If you see the videos, also we're on iTunes, so you can check us out, Ebony and Ivory Podcast Show on the iTunes podcast app. You can check us out on Anchor if you all use the Anchor app, which is what we started on originally. Check us out on there.
Hit that subscribe button as well on iTunes and YouTube.
Yes, and you all will get updates about when our episodes come out.
We're probably going to put it on SoundCloud as well to just get anybody who doesn't have Anchor or iTunes podcast or don't know how to use it. Yeah. So,
but something that we will appreciate you all is if you even if you don't share it on your Facebook, share it on your Instagram, just tell a friend, tell 2 friends for us, let them know. Just understand that we're not doing it just for, John or William or, the people, our good friends.
Or just keep continuing to tune in every episode.
Yeah.
If you don't share, just because we know we got some subscribers this last episode. We want to keep that growing.
And we're doing this for our city, man. We're doing this for our state, and we're doing this for everybody. There's certain things that we want to hit for everybody that everybody's into. So don't think that we're doing this for our gain. We do this for fun. We do this for fun. We take our time out of our day, out of our schedules to come here and talk to you all.
This is some stuff we're going to talk about regardless if we're on camera.
If not, we're going to sit here
audio or not.
Yeah, we'll sit here at the crib and we'll talk about this stuff. We'll have a couple drinks
while we're playing 2K, playing Skyrim, whatever.
Skyrim, shout out to Skyrim. But at the end of the day, man, we just wanted to kind of share our opinions with other people who have similar mindsets. So, man, subscribe, share with a couple friends. You don't have to post it on your Facebook or anything like that. Just send them a text message link. Say, hey, you should be interested in this because they talk about the similar things that we talk about and they have similar opinions or just different opinions that you should be informative too. So
let's bring in that closing intro soundtrack.
Yeah.
Dum,
Ebony.
See you guys.
Bye, guys.
Boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. boom.